Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be going over Week 9 NFL Pickem. Going to do a little bit of talking about the spread, but if you're interested in spread picks, I release those Sunday morning over on my Twitter account. It'll be down in the comments below. Otherwise, guys, let me know what your picks are. Let me know where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong, where I'm amazing, and where I'm way out to lunch. That'd be great. Comments below, etc. etc. So far this year, we are 73, 49, and 1 in Pickem, so not a great year. Started off really good, but it's starting to come back down to earth quite a bit. Last week we went 8-7, in against the spread 6-9 last week. So my worst week so far on the season against the spread, and my overall record 68-55. So overall pretty good, but it's starting to come back down to earth after putting up a 13 and a 12 early in the season. Things are starting to come back down to earth. And we have somewhat of a shorter week this week with 13 games on the docket. We had Thursday night Eagles, 13.5-point favorites over the Texans. I had the Eagles to win and cover. They didn't cover, but they did win. So at least on the pick'em side of things, we have that. But guys, let's just jump right into it. We got, 12 more games to go through, starting things off with my Dolphins going into Chicago on the road with Tua back. I expect the Dolphins to kind of come in here and take care of business. Looking over the injury report, I've realized the Dolphins have been suffering quite a bit of injuries, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears can do a little damage here against the defense of the Dolphins. Have somewhat struggled keeping teams out of the end zone. A lot of that had to do with when Tua was out, the other teams would get good possessions, but the Bears are coming off that huge win last week where I think they shocked a lot of people with that Thursday night win. They have a little bit of extra rest against a depleted Dolphins defense. It's going to be interesting. I think this game could be somewhat close, but I do expect the Dolphins to come away with it. Next up, we got Chargers going into the Falcons. Normally, I was kind of leaning Chargers in this one, but I am going to have to go with the home team Falcons, picking up the dub. Chargers, I have a little bit of concern with Mike Williams is not expected to play. Same with Keenan Allen. They got two of their big wide receivers out. So that's going to be a big difference. I would normally expect this one to be somewhat of an offensive affair. Both teams getting into the 20s, maybe the 30s, but I don't know if the Chargers are going to be able to keep up with the way the Falcons offense has been running this year. So I'm going to be going with the Falcons here at home. Chargers, they need to win here to really maintain pace in this strong division, keep up with the Chiefs. They got Raiders and Broncos who have struggled, but at the end of the day, they're not completely out of it, and with division games coming up down the stretch. Falcons, on the other hand, are a team, after winning last weekend, the Panthers are leading the division. They have the momentum, they have the confidence, and I do think it's going to carry forward here with a nice win at home against a tough team at the beginning of the year. You would never pick this, but I think that's going to be the case. Next up, we got the Bengals coming off that Monday night defeat against the Browns, going up against the Panthers, which everyone was assuming was depleted, couldn't figure things out, but they did put up 30 points last week against the Falcons that we were just talking about, coming out with a loss though. So would, in a power ranking setting, expect them to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Bengals are in kind of a must-win situation. They're 4-4 now on the season. Ravens are starting to cement themselves as the leader of this division, but the Bengals at the same time, they want to be able to at least squeak into the playoffs, and this is going to be a game that they have to win. They're going to be missing Jamar Chase, but at the end of the day, I think they're going to pull this one out. They have a lot of weapons on offense. It's just that one guy out. Burrow's going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. They're going to find a way to beat this depleted Panthers team that they might have stepped up last week with all the trades going on and stuff, stepping up against the Buccaneers, and then last year the Falcons. But I don't think they're going to be able to keep it going too far. Green Bay coming into Detroit, and this is an absolute must-win for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, coming off pretty miserable past couple of weeks where they've come down to I think they're 3-5 now on the season, something like that, and the Lions are 1-6. But this is a division game, and the Lions will always play the Packers hard. If the Packers want any chance of going on and further into this playoff race, I think at this rate, how they've played against Minnesota and how Minnesota's played, they're pretty much looking at a wild card spot. They have to absolutely win this. This spread is 3.5 points right now, and I would not be shocked at all to see Detroit walk away with a win here. I'm not going to pick them because I think with the teams and the way Detroit's 1-6, they have nothing to lose, but that can be dangerous for sure. They could definitely hype themselves up to make this a somewhat playoff game. And hey, we can end the Packers season essentially by winning this game and all that stuff. Going to be hype. Rodgers has not been able to get his offense going this year the way you would want him to. The defense has underperformed expectations coming into the season, but the Packers, they need to find the win. And when a team's up against the wall, this is where we really find out who is made to cut it in the NFL. We all know Rodgers is able to do it, but Lazard's questionable to come back on offense. I do expect there to be some offense here. Obviously, Detroit's been the team that gives up so much offense the other way. So this could be that spot that Green Bay Packers have been waiting for all season long. Raiders, Jacksonville Jaguars. Now this has been kind of an interesting matchup. Jaguars coming back from London from last week, a big devastating loss to the Broncos, really hurting their chances at this division. They started off the season so well with the 2 wins right out of the gate. I guess they lost week 1, but they were good, strong out of the gate. Division having a contention, but they've been on quite a skid now. The Raiders, on the other hand, they had a couple good showings, but then they got embarrassed last week against the Saints, being shut out completely. I'm still going to stick with kind of how I've been feeling about the Raiders here. I do find them to be overall a better team than the Jags. Both these teams are in a spot where like their seasons are slowly getting away from them. I would expect whoever loses here pretty much is done. The Raiders are probably a little bit more done already than the Jaguars, in the fact that the Chiefs are kind of running away with the division. On the other hand, Jaguars coming home from that trip to London, a little bit concerned. They might be a little bit dumbfounded there, and Trevor Lawrence has not been able to be clutch so far this year. Not to say that Derek Carr has been, but I think between Josh Jacobs and Deontay Adams, that they have a little bit more going for them, and I do have them winning this one. Next up, we got the Patriots hosting the Colts, and this one's pretty simple for me. The spread's even moved in this favor. The Patriots are going to win this one. We saw Hines get dealt out of Indianapolis. He's now a Buffalo Bill. Jonathan Taylor's been ruled out, so we're going to see Jackson at the running back, and we have Sam Ellinger as the quarterback. A lot of concerns. I think Indy's almost throwing in the towel here. If it wasn't such a easy division and set up so tightly, I would rule them out already. But at the end of the day, they're still in it. They're going to have a couple division games down the stretch. They're going to have a chance to keep it close, and I think the winner out of this division very well could be a 7-9 team. We're seeing a lot of NFC East kind of voodoo here going on, but I think the Patriots with Mac Jones and Bill Belichick and the way they showed a good solid game last week against the Jets, I am very confident that they're going to be able to walk in and win this one as well. Next one's going to be a no question. Biggest spread of the week, Bills 13.5 point favorites, I think they are. No, it's down to 11. So 11-point favorites, some money coming in on the Jets at least to keep it a little bit closer. Division game, you would always expect it to be a little bit closer. But the Bills are making a prime run to be a Super Bowl contender. They are the contender, but they're setting themselves up for a very good run deep into the playoffs. Super Bowl or bust really seems to be the message coming out of Buffalo. New York, on the other hand, has been surprise of the year, really, for a lot of people. They're young guys. They're stepping up, but last week I'm a little concerned whether Zach Wilson can get it done at all, especially against a defense that the Bills have. I think he's going to be in for a long, struggling day. The Bills should, in a Pickem style, the Bills should easily walk away with a win here, I would expect. Next up, we're going on to the Commanders hosting the Vikings. Commanders coming off that, they were the ones that upset the Packers last week, so that was a pretty big win. The Vikings on the other side of it, they're 6-1 now on the season. They're second in the NFC, and I guess probably second in the NFL, right? I think they're the only team with one loss that I can think of off the top of my head. A lot of people, including myself, they've been kind of going under the radar as that team. I would expect them to kind of keep it going this week. Adam Thielen maybe not going in there, but between the weapons they have on offense, their defense has stepped up pretty well here. I think the Vikings is the safe pick, especially in a pick and pool. I'm not going to get too wild. I might look at Washington to cover the spread at home versus the Vikings team. That can be a little bit questionable, but they've managed to have some pretty solid wins throughout the year so far. So they've definitely set themselves up to be the leaders of that division pretty well. One of the biggest games of the week, I think, here is the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle right now, top of the division in the NFC West. If you're someone that said that was going to be the case at this point in the season, I'd be calling you a liar, because I don't think anyone expected them to be leading this division, especially with the Cardinals, the Rams, as teams that are pretty much ahead of them, and even the 49ers, right? But we got Cardinals 1.5 point favorites at home here. I am going to pick them. I think this is a get right spot for the Cardinals to really get their season back on track. They're very much still in it. On the other hand, though, the Seahawks, I've discounted them all season long. I keep expecting them to fall back to earth, and Geno Smith has delivered time and time again. I just don't know. This one could go either way. I'm going with the Cardinals, the home team, a team that at the beginning of the season I was a little bit more on. A lot of concern, of course, with Kyler Murray and how the season has gone so far, but now he's got his weapon back. They had a tough game last week against the Vikings where they fell a little bit short by 8 points, but this is a get right spot for the Cardinals very much. Would hammer it. Next up, Rams, Buccaneers. Buccaneers are actually 3-point favorites last I looked against the Rams here, and a little bit surprising to me because I actually do think the Rams are going to be my pick-em pick. I'm going to pick the Rams to cover on the road. This is a tough spot because both these teams have completely underperformed all season long. I think one's 3-5, one might be 3-4 or something. I know the Rams, or one of them's had a bye. But at the end of the day, these two teams both have to win here. The Bucks a little bit less than the Rams, I guess, but I guess both these guys are in some very thick, tight division races. And this is the NFC Championship rematch for the Bucks. So we'll see. I think the Rams have a little bit of an edge here. The Bucks have just been flat, but you could say the same about the Rams. You could really make the same argument about both defenses not quite being what you would expect them to be for both teams. Offensives not delivering the way you would expect them to be. I think both Brady and Stafford much below expectations. You got to pick one, and I'm going with the Rams. Next up, we got the Sunday Nighter, the Chiefs hosting the Titans. 12.5 point spread now. So technically, I guess this is the biggest spread of the week, and it's the Chiefs. And the Chiefs just continue to roll all season long. Titans have come a little bit back down to earth from last season. I don't expect them to be that top team as they were last year in the AFC at least. I do think at this point they're pretty much going to walk away with this division just based on how the other couple teams have been doing. But the Chiefs, coming off a bye week, Andy Reid, given an extra week to prep for a team that I think he has a little thing against because this Titan team has beaten the Chiefs in the past. Over the past couple of years, they've matched up pretty good in the past couple of years. This could be a statement game for the Chiefs, and we could see them pretty much laying the hammer down on this. I don't know if the Titans are going to have trouble moving the ball with Derrick Henry and all the options that Ryan Tannehill has. There could be a very high-scoring game. The spread at 12.5 might be a little dangerous, but at the same time, Chiefs are going to be putting up touchdowns. Will the Titans be able to keep up? That's really up for the debate. I don't think they're going to win, so I'm going with the Chiefs. And then we get to Monday night here. We got the Saints hosting the Ravens. The Ravens had that big win Thursday last week against the Buccaneers. And I think they're going to keep going, rolling through the NFC South here, visiting New Orleans, who's coming off that huge win last week, shutting the door on a team that, like the Raiders, got to be pretty excited. The defense of the Saints is one that you never really want to discount, but you can't really prepare for a team like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens as easily as you could with other teams. They're the one offense in the league that's completely different than the rest, so it'll be interesting how that works. On the same side of things, I'm not super confident that the Saints are going to be able to put up the points that they kind of did against the Raiders. I think at the end of the day, the secondary of the Ravens might be their weak point, but does the Saints have the quarterback and the weapons to punish them for that? I'm not so certain, and I think the Ravens are going to win this one right now. It's only a 2-point spread, which is a little shocking to me, so maybe I'm misreading something here, but I do expect the Ravens to walk away with it. There you guys go. Week 9, we got 13 games, well 12. With the Thursday night game already taking place. Let me know again what you guys think of the picks, what you guys want to see here on this channel. I'm looking for ideas for more content now that baseball is coming to an end. Game 6 tonight in the World Series. I think it's going to go to Game 7, but now that that's coming to an end, I'm kind of looking for ideas for more content. I'm a huge fan of football and hockey during the off-season of baseball, so if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Guys, we will see you out there for that next video. Thanks for watching.